Thank you very much, Honorable. We're going to come to that, but just on the point where you reached about violence, the way it has been said is that APGA, naturally, it is thought by many, consolidated its dominance in Anambra under the leadership of Governor Soludo. That is, I'm paraphrasing at least one report on it. But tarry a while, let me play this, little report that we have on it, and then I'll come back to you to elaborate.
Deputy Governor blatantly came to my polling booth, came to my ward, my community, came to my place, my community of Sumeyi, arrested our polling agent, arrested people from our community, took their phones, took their money, took everything found in them, even their voters' card, he collected them. It is when I arrived, and I stopped and said, you cannot, with all of policemen, Udokachi people, one man of security came, besiege my community. I said, you cannot leave the community with these people.
The home of the party candidate for that senatorial election in the person of Chief Azuko Uche, how his house was surrounded just to ensure that he did not even exercise the common franchise of voting. You are also aware of the killing of the chairman of APC, Henry, Ward 2. And you are aware that Henry town is the home state of the deputy governorship candidate of our party.
Okay, so there you have it, Honorable Tony Uche. That's, one response to the allegation that we're talking about. So what would be your sort of take?
Yeah, my brother, I was there live when this thing that President Dr. Nicholas Okachukwu expressed now. I was there because my team were monitored the election in Nnewi South and part of Nnewi North. And then, you see, the time I went to the collation center in Obo, in Nnewi South, oh my God, my brother, I thought that it was just as if Nigeria has gone into a real war with another country. I saw these Udogachi people, more than 700 of them armed to the teeth with AK-47, with pump actions. They surrounded the whole local government headquarters where the INEC office was situated. They even had, they were having chants and so many things. And the funny thing, majority of them are not from Anambra State. They were imported from Rivers Delta, from Rivers Bayelsa, from Cross Rivers, and other places in order to execute the election. Now, by the time we are like literally held hostage by the Udogachi people. And this deputy governor, with the local government chairman of Nnewi South, with the commissioner for environment, Honorable Omus, and that Felix, and among others, they were parading around with these men as if we are in a Gestapo, a war situation. In fact, this is worse than even what we can see in Afghanistan. By the time we had to gradually plead ourselves and even pay ourselves through to get out of that place. And by the time we heard with other local international observers what was happening in Osumenyi, we quickly moved to Osumenyi and Ezenifite. There we saw the worst of it. Some of these were captured with phones on cameras, but the minute they see anybody capturing anything, they will rush to the person, grab the phone, break the phone, or delete the whole thing. They beat up some of the people that were attached to me. Some observers were beaten, and their documents, their files confiscated from them. Some of them, their phones seized, their recorders seized. Some of them were beaten up. Even journalists were beaten up in Osumenyi and in Ezenifite, Nnewi. So many other things happened in Agwata, government area, in Orumba North, in Orumba South, in Ihala was another war situation. Then Ekusigo was the worst of it, where the government chairman called Owere Okeke, that took charge of the election as if he was the INEC official or the monitoring the election, with heavily armed military men that are backing up the Udogachi, that are armed with not only Popeye, but AK-47. You know, when they move from Prini to Printo, once you are not voting for APGA, they'll chase you away and beat you up and chase you away from the voting centers. They were shooting, smoking Indian hemps and all manner of drugs there. The whole place, and some of them performing rituals in the polling units and in Coercion centers. The kind of terrorism, the militants that the APGA government of Sorude brought in did not at all show that APGA is actually a dominant party in Anambra State, but they are using force and coercion to win. Let me tell you something. The problem they have is this. Because of the crisis in APGA, whereby, you know, APGA was factionalized for a very long time. At the end of it, Supreme Court decided in favor of Sly Ezekwelu, that's Soludo's faction against Edozie Njoko, of which I was National Vice Chairman Southeast. I'm a founding member of APGA. We started the APGA from 2001 to 2002, and I've been there to date. Now, by the time the foreigners came in and hijacked the party, most of all the real owners of APGA defected, moved with President Kachku into APC. Because we saw that already APGA had lost steam and control because, one, so we don't have many insecurity to become the order of the day. And we have seen it in last Saturday election why insecurity prevailed in Anambra State is for him to use insecurity as an excuse to use force to rig election in Anambra State. The election on Saturday in Anambra State was completely rigged with non-state actors, and police was complicit. They are watching. In fact, when the commissioner of police came with one, I think that man is AIG, and some other security chiefs to Ezenifte, where President Kachku and other, let's say, Ezenifte in Newe South, with other people that came to monitor, because we are called and told that they were there holding people hostage. We now have to move to get know what is happening. They now held everybody hostage. We were there for hours until the CP came with the AIG, with DSS officials, civil defense, and others. By the time they came there, you can imagine that those militants, those terrorist group, that armed terrorist group, were challenging the police and the DSS and army. They could not do anything. You can't imagine that the army had to, at a point, run away from that point.
Really?
Now, yeah, I was there live. I can even show you some from my phone here because I was able to capture a little part of it. And their sheer number, they were in about 36 trucks and buses. I have opportunity, the time they detained me, they held me, hosted with some others. I was opportunity to get near their bus. And that bus was filled with all forms of arms. I wonder where they get this kind of arms from. I just wonder what is happening. What Professor Soludo have turned Anambra State into. Now we now understand why he allowed insecurity to take over 32% of the geography of Anambra State, the most part of Ayara local government, Newe South, Orumba South, part of Aguata, part of Obaru local government, and so many other areas have been totally taken over and controlled by non-state actors. You cannot go there, cannot come out. And I think these are most of the people that we see on ground carrying these guns are some of the names that we used to hear people call that are part of the unknown government and the people that have been kidnapping and terrorizing our people. That means there must be a connection between the Anambra State government, Vigilante, Udogachi, Agune Chamber Group, and those members that are holding our forest hostage. And actually, some of them say that name Udogachi doesn't mean actually, it means actually Solu Udogachi Ozo. That is in Igbo. In English, it means Soludo must rule for a second term. That means when people have been complaining that those outfits set up early this year, February this year, was actually designed as a political instrument to intimidate and suppress people, whereby the APGA and Soludo have lost the favor of the people because of his abysmal performance. He has lost favor of the people, and the people are no longer moved in from APGA into APC. Currently, I'll tell you without missing word, do a free and fair election today. APC will win APGA and others in Anambra State.
You know, it's APGA. Interesting.
I've been an APGA man. I've been studying APC before. But with what's happening, by the time our governor and leader now decided to sell APGA to APC, to Mr. President, whereby he said, progressive working together. He will put the picture of the governor in the governor and put the picture of the President Tinubu of APC. Progressive working together. You see that
I was going to bring that up. I was going to bring that up and say, what do you think of that? I was going to bring that up.
What happened? Yeah.
But, so honorable, honorable, I really apologize for interrupting you, but we do have someone on the line. So let me quickly not lose that call. Let me take on Mr. Joshua. Good morning, Mr. Joshua. Thank you for calling in.
Uncle Yori, this is Joshua. Yeah. And good morning to your guest.
Okay.
Good morning.
Hello?
He just responded.
Hello?
Please.
Okay. Please, Uncle Yori, all I can do is to sue for peace. The Southeast is a region that can do a lot of good for Nigeria. That region is blessed with a lot of human resources. The human empowerment or the human capacity to actually grow Nigeria is much in the Southeast. Now look at the language there. This is an election that affects just a state in the Southeast. Imagine when it is a general election. Now it becomes a war. Now can we just get to a time where our politicians can understand that governance is about providing benefits to the people, not about hijacking power and using it for their own selfish reasons. This is what is going on in Nigeria. Sorry to say Southeast. One is bothered about the campaign of violence, everywhere. Whether there is time of peace or it is election or an after election, everything you hear, especially on social media, is violence. Burn it down, destroy it. I mean, what for? I mean,
all right.
It's really disheartening.
Okay. Thank you very much for calling in with that, Mr. Joshua.